Hello everyone. I am Tejal Khandelwal and you are watching Tejal Khandelwal Study Center. We have already covered the key approaches in India's foreign policy, the philosophical foundations of India's foreign policy, and institutions like the MEA, the PMO, as well as the National Security Council. Today we will cover the role of parliaments in India's foreign policy. So let's see which are the two key questions that have appeared from this section, and then we will cover the questions. I hope you have downloaded the booklets. So question number 10, examine the role of parliamentary diplomacy in India's foreign policy. And question number 2 is, how does the parliament determine and influence India's foreign policy? So the question first is in 2019 on parliamentary diplomacy, and the question in 2015 is the role of parliaments in determination of India's foreign policy. These two questions are different and they have different answers. So parliamentary diplomacy is a different term, and the role of parliament in determination of foreign policy is a different term. So first we will discuss what is parliamentary diplomacy. Now we need to understand that parliamentary diplomacy implies what? Parliamentary diplomacy is the dialogue between parliaments. It is the method and the process in which parliamentarians of different countries come together and discuss broader issues. So when we talk about parliamentary diplomacy, we can say that it is a dialogue between parliaments. We can say that it is the method and manner. We can say it is the method and manner in which fruitful cooperation and dialogue occurs between parliaments of different countries, where there are associations of various parliamentarians even at the multilateral level. It also consists of bilateral visits of parliamentary delegations discussing broader outlook on issues and acted as precursors for further deliberation as well as adoption of various MOUs between the governments. Okay, so parliamentary diplomacy implies this, which means fruitful dialogue between parliaments of different countries. So members of the parliament of different countries come together on platforms, as well as bilateral as well as multilateral. Now, let's see where this term originated. The term was coined by Dean Rusk, who was the Secretary of State of USA, and he used it in the term of or the context of the United Nations General Assembly. Then also the Michael Marshall speaks about this particular term, and he talks it more in the context of the inter-parliamentary union. Okay, so we will be discussing that at the multilateral level. So we say the coining of the term came in, who coined the term? Dean Rusk is the Secretary of State of USA, who used it in the context of United Nations General Assembly. Now, if we have to talk about, since the question is asking the role of parliamentary diplomacy in India's foreign policy, so who better in India can give this perspective than the speaker? So there is a key book written by one of India's former speaker, Meera Kumar. So she talks in her work Indian Parliamentary Diplomacy. So this book is by Meera Kumar, which is titled as Indian Parliamentary Diplomacy, the Speaker's Perspective. So here she talks about how parliamentary diplomacy tries to build in a set of a mutual understanding between various parliamentarians. It is the one because from the traditional domain of the executive, It has moved even within the scope of parliamentarians. International foreign policy has moved from the traditional domain of executive to even the scope of the parliaments. And why so? It is because when broader outlook develops, there is a sort of a consensus that develops on broader global issues, be it climate change, be it human rights, be it terrorism, be it poverty, be it hunger. So, the scope of parliamentary diplomacy, says Meera Kumar, is not restricted only to inter-parliamentary cooperation. It is about how global issues are coming to be discussed, and now the parliamentarians have also acquired a key interest not only within the scope of national issues but even on foreign policy issues. Why? Because we see a set of issues which are having trans-border implications, which means if we talk about terrorism, the terrorism is not only, an international issue. We also talk about how, terrorism gets impacted to the national populations. So Meera Kumar says parliamentary diplomacy is not merely inter-parliamentary cooperation. It is that parliamentarians develop what? They develop a mutual understanding on various issues. And whatever is being discussed here, mutual understanding, and there is a more broader outlook which becomes clear. And this broader outlook also acts like a precursor for further, right, deliberation even at the UNGA and other things. She also points that, there is a greater involvement of parliamentarians in international relations because they have today a global mindset on issues like food security, climate change, terrorism. They have what? They have a global mindset on global issues. Okay, so you can point that how Meera Kumar in her work is talking about the role of parliamentary diplomacy in India's foreign policy. Okay, this is the aspect of that. Then we can talk about how this parliamentary diplomacy is shaping issues. So first, there is bilateral visits of parliamentary delegations. Now, this delegation does not only consist of parliamentarians. When we talk about parliamentary delegation, we also see the vice president, the queen. They are also participants on these delegations, and then discussion, deliberation occurs on various issues, and probably this acts like a beginning where what issues are concerning between two nations, that also comes in the forefront. So parliamentary delegations, bilateral visits of parliamentary delegation also shape foreign policy and how things come about in real. Okay, so first we talk about what is the meaning. The coining of the term was done where? We can quote Meera Kumar's work, the Indian parliamentary diplomacy, and highlight these various issues. Okay, and we know now when we spoke about first the bilateral visits, we can also talk about how there are multilateral aspects of parliamentary diplomacy. Okay, so when we talk about multilateral inter-parliamentary bodies, the first is the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, which comprises of 175 parliaments. Now, mind you, over here, it is not only the parliament which is at the central level. We also see the state legislatures as well as UT members, parliamentarians, who are being represented in this Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Okay. However, they do not adopt any resolutions. CPU does not adopt any resolutions. It merely takes up certain issues, it deliberates on them, discusses them. And actually the record about, problems that many Western countries also have with respect to human rights and other things. In fact, a broader idea, a more mutual nature of understanding is developing in this Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Okay. Then we will be talking about Inter-Parliamentary Union. Inter-Parliamentary Union is a body which has developed even before the United Nations sometime in 1889. So it was like a peace movement of what? Peace movement of the 19th century. Talking to you about the Inter-Parliamentary Union. Inter-Parliamentary Union was established on the vision of two key parliamentarians, though not very important to know, but you can just have a knowledge about it. It was by Sir William Randall Cremer of United Kingdom and Frederick Passy of France, who had made a vision that yes, even parliamentarians should come and discuss issues that are plaguing the 19th century. So it is a body which is so old, its headquarters is in Geneva today, and India joined this IPU in 1949. Okay. So resolutions are adopted here through voting in the Inter-Parliamentary Union. And it is like today it has emerged like a universal forum which talks about the foreign policy issues, global issues of various countries. Okay. Now if we see, we are in 2025. Today is, I think, 4th June. And in Brasilia, there is a BRICS Parliamentary Forum which is happening. So even bodies like BRICS parliaments are playing key role in what? Foreign policy. So we see the 11th BRICS Parliamentary Forum is happening in Brasilia. The Speaker of India, Lok Sabha Speaker and Deputy Speaker, both are representing India over there. And what is the key theme of this BRICS Parliamentary Forum? It is talking about inclusive and sustainable governance, reform of multilateral peace and security architecture, as well as how the BRICS countries should have cooperation on making artificial intelligence more inclusive in nature. So, when we talk about parliamentary diplomacy in foreign policy, we can talk about it on the bilateral level. We can also talk about these multilateral institutions which are shaping foreign policy. So, your understanding of this concept is not narrow with respect to only inter-parliamentary cooperation. Okay? And how we have moved beyond the traditional domain of the executive, where even the parliaments are playing key role. Okay? Now we can also say that since parliament has become so important, we should also have issues of women, because not all parliaments in the world have a very good representative format for women coming as leaders. If this happens, then yes, we can have more inclusive nature. So even women empowerment should be something which should be spoken of at parliaments, okay, or at these parliamentary unions, which will make the global architecture more inclusive in the representative format. Okay. So yes, these are things. So how this parliamentary diplomacy, and the current example you can talk about the BRICS Parliamentary Forum. Okay. So that's clearly India is a member of BRICS, and we can see how this parliamentary diplomacy will shape many global issues as well as national issues. This is the role of what? Parliamentary diplomacy in India's foreign policy. Now let's move to the next question. So let's move on to question number 19. The question reads, how does Parliament determine and influence India's foreign policy? So there are two words. One is determine and the other is influence. Okay. So let's see.